So I scour the internet for information about stress, communications, relationships, psychology, sociology. And this morning I found this article called Faith and Mental Health by a fellow named Randall J. Maurer. He's a PhD, a professor of psychology and family ministry at Hardin-Simmons University. And I found this in the Abilene Reporter News. It's out of Texas. I checked out the school. It's a small school, but it was rated by U.S. News & World Report and the Princeton Review as one of America's best colleges in 2007 and actually 2006, one of the best Western colleges as well. Now I realize most of you out there don't get the Abilenian, but I think this article needs to be heard, so I'm just going to read it out for you. Listen up. The field of psychology has not always displayed a positive view of the role of religious faith in mental health. Although more current research is demonstrating a positive relationship between religious faith and mental health, research over the years has been somewhat mixed. You can find plenty of people who line up on both sides of the argument. Now, that's definitely true. One religious person finds comfort, peace, and the ability to remain positive in the midst of great difficulties. Another religious person believes his or her difficulties were sent by an angry God to punish. Still others who profess no faith can be divided into a group that struggles with meaning and another group that apparently finds meaning and copes well in non-religious ways. Before we throw up our hands and say that it doesn't matter, let's consider that religious faith can be used in a variety of ways. How we use religious faith seems to account for whether or not religious faith helps us cope and positively affects our lives. Religious faith can indeed contribute to mental illness, making a person even more depressed, anxious, etc. Religious faith can also provide a number of benefits, including making sense of difficult circumstances, enhancing social support through a caring religious community, encouraging a healthier lifestyle, managing stress more effectively, and providing hope. It depends on how we use our faith. How we use our faith is influenced by such things as our view of God, our view of ourselves, the role of faith and community in our lives, and the extent to which we live out our beliefs. Research suggests, for example, viewing life as a collaboration with God is more likely to result in positive coping. In other words, religious people who see themselves working together with God as partners in their lives generally tend to cope better with problems and lead more satisfying lives. The old saying, God helps those who help themselves, seems to be receiving some support. In contrast, religious people who would rather rely less on God and be more self-directed, it's my problem, not God's, or who believe they should passively wait for God to fix their problems, please God, take care of this for me, seem to struggle more in effectively using their faith to help them cope. Although more research is needed, obviously, the collaborative partnering view of religious faith seems more helpful. And the article continues, now for someone to believe he or she is a partner with God means God and his or her faith relationship with him are viewed differently than those who believe God is out to judge them or is uncaring. Even those who believe everything is under God's control and nothing happens that is not his divine plan will respond to circumstances based on this idea of collaboration. In other words, to the extent we see ourselves as partners with God, we supporting his will and he supporting us, we will more likely find comfort and meaning despite believing there exists little we can do. Interestingly, the more we see ourselves as a partner with God, the more sense of personal power and control we tend to experience even when facing the inability to change our circumstances. Using faith positively is not just a mental game. We use faith when we actively decide to believe certain things and when we live those beliefs. To use faith positively is to take action. Taking action to apply one's faith to solving problems and coping with difficulties can unlock hidden potential. It can be argued that looking both within and beyond oneself to a loving God expands one's perspective on what is possible. In the end, then, collaborative faith is good psychology. That's Randall J. Maurer, professor of psychology and family ministry at Hardin-Simmons University. So what do I want you to take away from this? Before you throw up your hands and say it doesn't matter, think about religious faith. Using faith positively is not just a mental game. And collaborative faith is good psychology.